Welcome back to Rookie Mistakes, Pod 10, March Madness. I'm Ethan. That's Jeremy. Jeremy, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Just got back from a basketball game. Fun, thrilling, 66-63 win.
Wow, big.
Boys.
Did it come down to the wire?
It did. Game didn't matter at all. Both teams were already in the playoffs, but it was fun.
And how did you play?
I played well for the first time in a very long time, so
nice.
I was happy.
So what does that mean? How many points are you dropping?
I don't know. They don't like
no one's keeping
track.
stats.
They do, but like it'd be really weird to go up to them and be like, "How many points did I have
you're
this
not doing it in your head. Like, all right, that's 15.
Okay, if
17.
I had like 2 points, I would know.
Okay,
but once you're past like 8, you kind of lose track.
Okay,
so
fair.
I don't know. Fair. Somewhere between 8 and I don't know.
Okay, and what was your free throw percentage?
Okay, hit 4 down the stretch to close it out.
That's big.
Which was big.
That's big.
We were up 2, hit 2 to make it a 4-point game, and then got fouled. Up 4, made both to make it a 6-point game, put it away.
That's ice in the veins.
But I missed 2 previously that also maybe would have put it away, so whatever. It's fine. No one remembers those, though.
Yeah, no one remembers those.
I know. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Still getting ready for my run on the 31st.
Yes.
Had a nice 11-miler over on Sunday. It was nice. Sunday was a beautiful day. Unbelievable day in the city.
Yeah.
Then I drank a little bit in the afternoon. It was a good time. St. Patty's. I went to this I do Volo. Volo's like an app where you can do pickup sports. It's how I play pickup volleyball. But also they had like a St. Patrick's Day beer games outdoors at this bar called Tailgate in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And it was just like flip cup. It was cornhole. It was like a lot of fun stuff.
Sweet.
Went with my roommate and we had a good time.
That's sweet. Was it crowded?
It wasn't so crowded. It was like 6 teams.
Okay.
And it was like round robin. And then some teams like made it to the quote unquote playoffs and they played each other. So it was just a good time all around.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But
for your run, is it like a sanctioned thing? Is it through an organization or is it just you guys?
It is just us.
Okay, so there's no like trail where people can stand and like watch you guys.
There's no trail, but we are going out along the perimeter. So we're doing east side, west side. There's like a set map on Strava that a lot of people have done before. It's got like a whole leaderboard. So like it is a thing. If you talk to any ultra runner, they'll be like, okay, I know that route.
Got it.
But we're just going to do it on a whim. And we're going to stop. I think I said last time, my sister's up in Washington Heights. So like she's going to say hi, maybe even run with us for a while. So it's going to be a little bit, go with the flow type thing.
Got it. So if I happen to find myself on the perimeter of Manhattan,
yes,
just eyes peeled at all times.
Eyes peeled at all times.
Okay.
Yeah, head on a swivel.
That sounds fun.
What'd you do this weekend?
So Orly and I have our anniversary. We're filming this
tomorrow.
On Tuesday. Tomorrow, no, today's Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, March 19th, will be our 1-year anniversary, which is very exciting. Yeah, crazy. It's been a year.
I'm happy to be here on the eve.
Yeah. Kind of nuts.
Yeah.
You and my mom both. You guys got the special guest appearances in the apartment the eve of. But
we're honored, both of us.
Yeah, no, but it's crazy that it's been a year. Feels like it's been a lot more, and also feels like the wedding was yesterday. So very exciting. We went to New Hope, Pennsylvania, quaint, cute
last
town.
weekend.
This past weekend, just got back yesterday. So
any highlights of New Hope?
It's just so calm, relaxing. We stayed in a hotel right on the Delaware River.
Nice.
It was ideal. If anyone's looking for a small, quiet getaway weekend, New Hope is a great spot.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Dude, should we dive into March Madness?
Let's dive into March Madness. March Madness is a really exciting time for a lot of people. I don't feel the excitement that much, but it's really building up a little bit more.
Stop that.
I'm beginning to get into the groove a little bit. It's like you got to be in the spirit, and I'm beginning to feel the spirit.
Well, you signed up for the bracket.
I signed up for the bracket.
Step 1.
That's step 1. So I will say when I do my bracket, I have to do it in chunks because I can't focus for that long. So I did 8 or 9 picks this morning. I'll probably do the same thing tomorrow. But I'm also excited because I know we're talking about a couple of good tactics that you're going to help me on. And I think that will help me sort of formulate the rest of my bracket.
Yeah, we wanted to release this episode early for you guys so that you could take some of the insights. Again, we're not going to give you too much because I don't want people copying my bracket. Not that will help you. It won't. But yeah, we wanted to get this out for you guys to understand the lay of the land. And I am so excited. I love March Madness. I am giddy for March Madness. Thursday is going to be amazing.
So Thursday at John Boy Media, are people working or are people tuned out? Is it on TVs all across the office?
The main perk, maybe not the main perk. There's a lot of great stuff about working at John Boy Media. One of the main perks is that the TV in the common area where everyone works, March Madness will be on. We also have a live stream lounge that has 6 different TVs, and I assure you they will all be covering March Madness on Thursday.
Absurd.
So
You want to know what's
I'll
funny?
step in
You want to
there
know what's
every
funny
now and
about
then.
this is you will not hear the words March Madness at Google this entire
No.
month.
Are you serious?
I didn't hear today. I assume people were talking about the seeding today at
You've
John
been
Boy
talking
Media.
about it for weeks.
Yeah. No one talks about it. It is not something that people care about. It is not something that people pay attention to. So that's why I don't feel the excitement. I need to work in a space that is more conducive
Yeah.
to the energy of March Madness.
Yeah, or you need to hang out with me more than once a week.
That's true. Too bad we're up here on 97th Street.
I know, right? But I think March Madness is incredibly fun because it's fun for literally anyone. You don't need to be a big sports fan to appreciate
Yes.
high-level competitive sports that also has an element of like relatability. Like these are 20-year-olds playing college basketball and anything can happen. The craziest upsets are so fun
Yeah.
and everyone feels invested because if you make a bracket, you suddenly care
Yeah.
about Kansas State having an amazing run.
It
and
is
like
true.
you care about their like fourth best player who you've literally never heard of and will never talk about ever again. So
Yeah.
I think it's something that everyone can really get into. That's why we made the Rookie Mistakes March Madness pool.
I mean,
So-
the other thing is, for people like myself who know very little about sports and March Madness, I feel like I have almost as good of a chance of winning as you do.
If
and I
not
think that
better.
like randomness is it's in my favor a little bit.
100%. I think anyone can win the bracket, which is, I mean, there aren't an infinite number of teams that can win. There are 64 teams, and not all of them realistically have a chance to win. But anyone making a bracket, predicting it, has a chance.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I know a smidge more about college basketball than you does not benefit me in any way. If anything, I might get in my head too much and overanalyze
Yeah.
picks that ultimately are
Well,
wrong.
the other thing Yahoo Sports does is it allows you to auto pick. Like Yahoo will auto pick every single thing, which I didn't want to do because I'm better than that. But like, I feel like if you auto pick, you have just as good of a chance as anyone else
Yeah.
that's making a bracket.
I actually think you do. Later on in the app, I'll tell you some of the most ridiculous strategies I've heard
Okay.
of that have been successful in the past. But I wanted to start by very simply explaining how people can actually watch March Madness because there are the simple ways, like if you have YouTube TV or you have Fubo, like you can watch the games on those streaming platforms. The games are going to be on TNT, TBS, True TV, and CBS. Those are the four main.
and all of the games are on all of those platforms.
So they all rotate. There's a rotation of games happening on all of those networks basically at all times throughout the tournament.
Okay.
So Thursday, there will be two games that start at noon for the first 4 days of the tournament, which is the round of 64 that happens on Thursday and Friday, and then the round of 32, which is Saturday, Sunday. The games basically go from noon until midnight, which is
Crazy.
amazing. It's
crazy.
You could not ask for anything better. It's so fun. If you go to the bar at any point during those 4 days, the games will be on. People will be watching. You can watch the teams who you picked.
Is this your favorite month of the year?
Well, yeah, for a number of reasons. It's my anniversary.
it is your anniversary,
It's my birthday on Friday as well.
Let's go.
Big week.
go. I didn't know that.
March Madness is amazing, and baseball season starts next Thursday.
Great.
So it's an
This is-
unbelievable month.
This is a great month for you. And honestly, it's a great month for me because through osmosis, I'm feeling it.
Hell yeah.
I'm feeling it.
I could tell you're getting a little more energy.
I'm getting pumped. I'm getting pumped to talk March Madness.
So those are the four main cable stations that are going to have all of the games going throughout the tournament. But you can also very simply go to the NCAA website. Just type in March Madness streaming on Google. The NCAA website will show up, and you can live watch any single game that
For
you
free.
want for free, completely
crazy.
free, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I don't think people realize they can do, but it's
Why is that a thing? Like, why don't they charge?
so I think it's because the cable networks that pay to broadcast the game, it's still their feed on the NCAA website, which means the people on the website are still seeing the ads and the advertisers who paid to be on the station. It's
Okay.
still all of their programming. So for them, it's just more eyeballs. I think that's why they do it. It also might just be baked into the NCAA's contract with
see.
the cable networks that like, hey, we're going to stream this on our own website. We'll show your advertisers and you can pitch that to them of like, you're going to get X% more eyeballs because it's free on
Yeah.
our site. But yeah, it's an interesting
I mean,
tactic on
it
their
is,
part.
again, one of these reasons why people like myself are going to watch. Like, I do love March Madness. I love watching it. So, like, you know, me and a lot of other people, like, I'm down to, like, have it streaming on one monitor while I'm doing work on the other.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's ideal. It's the best way to watch. I think the funniest thing about the NCAA website where you can watch all the games is that they have a boss button.
yes.
Have you seen this?
Yes. It's pretty
Hilarious.
insane.
For those of you who don't know, if you're watching the games on your computer, because it's very tempting to do that, you can open the game And then the website knows that people are going to be watching at work. So they created this function where you press a button in the top right corner that says boss button, and it opens up like
a pitch
fake,
deck or like some
a
like random
fake
like
screen of like an Excel and an email tab. Like
It's very funny.
It's so funny. They thought of everything. They know people are going to watch at work. So you could just go to the NCAA website, watch the games totally free. You can toggle between the games. If you want to watch on the go, you're very dedicated. You can download the app on your phone.
Okay.
A little wonky at times, but still, all the games totally free.
Nice.
So there's no excuse to miss any games, and that boss button is one of the funniest things they have.
It's key.
Yeah. I wanted to give you guys a couple of team names who you should know.
Okay.
A couple of like fun storylines that are going on for the tournament. The team that everyone's going to be talking about, they will be the most popular pick to win, is UConn.
Okay.
UConn won the tournament last year as a 4 seed. This year, they are the number 1 overall seed, which means they were the best team in college basketball. The way the bracket is broken up is it's 4 quadrants of seeds 1 through 16.
Yes.
So there are 4 different 1 seeds.
Yes.
UConn is one of those 4 1 seeds, but they are also the number 1 overall seed.
But that doesn't do them anything.
Correct.
Right.
In theory, it gives them the most favorable matchup in the first round. So like the 64th best team will be the team playing them, but it doesn't really work out like that.
So this is a question I was going to ask you, because my bracket has a north, south, east, and west, or like it has 4 quadrants. How are the teams chosen for each quadrant, or is it just random?
I think it's kind of random. I could be totally wrong. The other option is it might be based on the first 2 rounds are played in the number 1 seeds region. So like for UConn, for example, they will get placed in the East region, and their first games will be on the East Coast, potentially Northeast, which will effectively serve as a home game for them in rounds 1 and 2. That might be how they do it.
I see.
But I'm not positive, because you could end up with 4 number 1 seeds who are all from the Northeast, and they all have to spread out where their games are. So I don't know exactly how it's chosen.
I see. And UConn is University of Connecticut.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
And they also have a great women's team, too, or they've had a historically really good women's team.
Yeah, their women's team has been historically incredibly good.
And the men's games and women's games for March Madness, they're happening at the same time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Anyway, UConn is going to be a very popular pick. They're a very balanced, incredibly deep team. But, important fact, a team has not won back-to-back championships since 06-07. Florida Gators won it then, so it's been a while. And there's only been 1 number 1 overall seed to win the tournament in the last 21 years. So history is not on UConn's side.
What were they ranked last year?
Last year, they were a 4 seed. And this year, they are the number 1 overall. So, again, they are a really good team. They are objectively the best team in the tournament, but they're not a guarantee to win.
Yeah.
And if they were, March Madness wouldn't be as fun.
What percent of brackets do you think are going to have UConn winning it all?
I would guess probably 25%, if not more, because a lot of people are going to want to pick a different team just to be different, because you have to make your bracket a little bit unique in order to win. But they are really good, and they are objectively the best team, so it's going to be tough to pick against them. It's going to be hard to find a matchup where you're like, oh, I think that team can beat them.
Yeah.
So UConn is going to be a name that you should know.
Okay.
There are the Blue Bloods. Have you heard that term before in college basketball?
No. Is it Duke?
Yeah, so there are 4 teams that are considered Blue Bloods, and Blue Bloods is like a term that refers to like old like royalty and nobility.
Whoa.
And
I have never heard of
They
this.
have adapted the term to apply to 4 college basketball teams that are historically very, very good. They're always at the top of college basketball.
Okay.
And do you want to guess them before I give them to you?
I could try.
You got one. You got Duke.
Duke, Kentucky?
Kentucky is another.
Okay. And then UConn. Is UConn the third?
UConn is like a fringe 5th. A lot of people consider them a blue blood nowadays because of how good they've been, but they're not in the true 4 blue bloods.
Okay. I mean, the last one I could guess is Florida.
No, North Carolina is
Carolina.
another one. And I think you could have gotten this next one as well, Kansas.
Kansas, yes.
Yeah,
Kansas
all
is very
4 of those
good.
teams are in the tournament. Kansas is a 4 seed this year.
Okay.
And this is the 24th straight tournament where they have been a 4 seed or better.
That's crazy.
So these teams are historically very, very good. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
One note to know about Kansas, though, a little sneak advice here for you and for anyone listening.
I need it.
Kansas finished the season 7-8 in their last 15 games, and 2 of their key players are injured.
Okay.
So they are ripe for an upset early on in the tournament. So historically very good, but
Okay.
be a little bit careful.
I'll make note.
Yeah. And then the only other fun fact here that I wanted to mention is Gonzaga is in the tournament for their 25th straight season, which is amazing. They are not in a Power 5 conference. Reminder, those Power 5 conferences are the Big Ten, whatever. We don't need to go through all of them.
But
they're
those
the ones who are historically
best
very
teams.
good. Exactly.
I know that Jordan Rich this is a complicated story, but he grew up in Alabama. His high school basketball coach, and I might botch this, so I'm sorry, Jordan. High school basketball coach started coaching at a nearby university, Samford.
Oh, Samford.
Where is it?
They're in the tournament.
They're in the tournament.
I don't know where
and they
they're from.
won like the play-in game to be the 16 seed in their tournament, and this was his high school basketball coach. So
He's
like
the coach? That's so cool.
Yeah, and he's the coach of this Samford team. So I didn't actually realize, and for all of you who also don't realize, a lot of teams aren't in the tournament.
Yes.
So like what percent of teams are in the tournament?
So there are 64 teams that make the tournament.
Okay.
Technically 68 because there are 8 teams who are vying for the final 4 spots, and they play 4 what are called play-in games.
So this was Samford. They played a play-in game.
So they play a play-in game, and they get in. I actually think Samford got an at-large bid because I think they won their conference.
I don't know what large bid means.
At-large means you won your conference, and therefore you get an automatic bid.
How many conferences are there?
I don't know. I think like 32 maybe.
So 32 are locked in. 32
Locked in.
teams are locked in.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know there were so many conferences.
Yeah, there are a lot of conferences. I'm actually going to fact-check that right now. But
How many of them can you name?
Maybe like 10. I can name the Power 5 and then like a couple more.
What are the couple more?
Like the Atlantic 10, the Big East.
These are things I've never heard of.
The Pac-10 is not a Big 5. The WAC.
There's also a
Mountain
Pac-12.
Valley. There's a Pac-12.
That's
but
a Power
Pac-12
5.
is a Power 5, I
Okay.
think.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
is
Mountain
eye-opening.
West. There's like the Southern Land Conference. There's a whole bunch
Okay.
of them. Big South. Like there's
And so I know
There's a
we're
lot.
going off track a little bit here, but
Yeah.
Every college, D1, D2, D3, is in a conference.
yes, correct.
So there are some.
Dude, by the way, I nailed it.
32?
32
Good
conferences.
for you. That's sick. So there are D3 teams that are playing, obviously.
Yes, and they are in their own. The Division 3 March Madness actually finished this past week. So they had their own March Madness tournament. They had 64 teams. They narrowed it down. There was a
So the D3 conferences are not playing in the same. This is a D1 conference March Madness.
correct. The March Madness that people care about is Division 1.
That's crazy. I mean, I knew that had to be the case,
Yeah.
but that's crazy.
Yeah, there is a March Madness for D1, D2, and D3. Most people, unless you go to those schools, D2 and D3, don't
Okay.
care
So
much about this.
are there 32 D1 conferences?
Yes, 32 Division 1 conferences. Correct.
Okay.
Which means 32 teams, like you said, automatically get a bid into March Madness because they won their conference, and the other 32
Okay.
teams are decided. Actually, I'm pretty sure an at-large bid. I may have actually gotten that backwards. I'm pretty sure an at-large bid is when you don't win your conference.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you get your automatic bid when you win your conference, and at-large bid is when you don't win your conference.
Okay.
But your record and your schedule and your season was strong enough that you get one of the remaining 32 spots.
Okay. So then what is with these like play-in games for a spot?
Those teams are like the ones that are kind of on the bubble. They are like maybe good enough to make it, but they weren't sure what to do with them. So those 4 teams kick off the tournament with games on, I think, either Tuesday or Wednesday, and they play the play-in games. So they play games against teams who also aren't as good, and the winner of that makes it to the final bracket of 64.
So there are some teams that are still not picked in the bracket.
Correct. When you're picking those games, you're usually picking X team against the winner of 2 other teams.
Wow.
And the reason they do that is because very rarely do those play-in teams win. So like it doesn't really matter. You're picking like, oh, I think there's going to be an upset. Whichever team wins the play-in will beat that team. Or like I think the regular teams
So
will
the
win.
play-in games are really for a 16 seed.
16 or usually like an 11. This year I think it's for a 16 seed and a 10 seed. I don't know why they
Okay.
did it that way.
So it's not crazy that the play-in winner could upset
Correct.
the incumbent.
There have been play-in teams that have made like a significant run, either the round of 16 or even the Elite 8.
Wow.
So it's not unheard of, but it's unusual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's crazy. That was nice.
That's
was
a lot.
Very educational.
Okay, so now should we dive into some tips and tricks for
Tips
people?
and tricks.
Okay, this is for all of you to consider when making your bracket. Again, we're not going to give away too much. We don't want people mad at us for giving away trade secrets.
I won't give away much at all. Just to be clear.
The first thing is that none of this is science, okay? I'm going to give you things that are just useful tidbits. Use them however you'd like. You should know that I have never won a March Madness pool. It does not matter that I know a little bit more about college basketball.
That's true.
It truthfully doesn't matter. Just for reference, if you go on TikTok and search up like best strategies for March Madness, you'll find a lot of things that are like informative and statistically based, and then you'll find the most ridiculous things in the world. So have you yet picked your strategy for how you're making your bracket?
I have a strategy. I have a very sound strategy that I pick my bracket every year.
Okay.
And it's very based in logic, and it's simple, and it's clean. And do you want to know it?
It depends. Do you think people might steal your logic?
No, I don't think so. And honestly, I've never won, so I don't think they should.
So then lay it on me.
So I'm a very logical creature. I mostly pick based on the defense, so the points that a team allows usually, and the difference between how much they usually score per game versus how much they allow per game.
It's pretty sound logic.
It's sound, although I understand that some teams are playing other teams that are less good than the blue blood.
So
the
like
blue bloods.
Exactly. So if you're talking about Samford, that school, their conference is not nearly as good as the conference that Kansas is playing.
Exactly.
In. So they might score 90 points a game, allow 60 points a game, but that 30-point spread doesn't necessarily mean they're the better team than Kansas.
Yes.
But it is pretty sound logic.
So, my argument against that would be, I like teams that invest in defense. So really, if they can have hardcore defense versus people in their conference, then when it comes to playing Kansas, they might let up a few more buckets, but at the end of the day, their coach is going to make them play hard on defense. They're going to have to play lockdown D. Offense might be a little bit shaky, but they're going to pull through.
I don't mind that logic at all. I do think you're a big fan of defense wins championships.
Yes.
And I don't hate that.
Yes, but I will say I have never won a March Madness bracket.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to win. But that's why we have the rookie mistakes one, so that no one feels like they're outmatched by anyone.
Yes.
Everyone has a chance, and right now there are 30 people signed up. So
yes. Let's go.
Pretty hype.
Yeah. And we're trying to get up to 50.
Yeah, we are. Make it happen, people. But anyway, I wanted to share with you some strategies that I've heard recently. Mm-hmm. My friends Jacob Pardo and Shosh Siegel, who got married about, 2 years ago, friends of ours from Penn, they had their dog pick. They held out treats for each team, and whichever one their dog walked to,
good.
That's the team they picked.
That's great.
They said Ruben, their dog, had a few too many treats, so he doesn't get any prize if
He's
they
like
win.
shitting for the whole night.
Yeah, he had a rough night, but hopefully he
That's
picked the
like
winner
one of
for
those
them.
commercials you would see like in the middle of a game, some like random person wearing a Florida State University shirt, like giving treats to their dog to pick their bracket.
That's exactly what it was. I've seen people pick based on the team's colors. I've seen people pick based on the team's mascots. I've heard people pick based on the number of syllables in a team name.
That's interesting.
If Clemson is playing Furman State, Clemson's got 2 syllables, Furman State 3.
Yeah, Furman State with an obvious dub.
Yeah, like Clemson has no chance. So,
and what in the case of a tie?
I don't know.
I feel like
I've never tried the strategy, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it would go based on their mascot name.
Yeah.
Clemson Tigers against the Furman State. I have no idea.
Yeah.
No clue what their mascot is.
I didn't give you that one last week.
So those are some random things. If you guys wanted to make more informed decisions and figure out like, okay, what are some actual advantages? I'm not going to give you too many, but there is a website called kenpom.com. Okay. There's this guy named Ken Pomeroy, who created College Basketball Statistical Archive. And on his website, he has every stat you could possibly want. It's actually laid out kind of nicely.
It seems overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming, but what you need to do is find people who have made analyses of, okay, based on his stats from previous years, this is the criteria that the winner is going to fall into. And I'm not going to give the 7 teams, but there are like a few different analyses that basically narrow down the winner to 7 or 6 teams, and this system hasn't been wrong in like 25 years.
That's absurd.
It's kind of crazy. If you think that people who know this stuff have a leg up because they know it, like I don't think that's actually the case, because anyone can pick any of these 7 teams. It's about the rest of your picks that you get right in case you do get the winner right.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to find out some more data, look up.
So have you looked him up? Ken Pomeroy?
Ken Pom. If you go to kenpom.com, you'll hear that referenced a lot during the tournament.
He's
rankings.
like a Twitter commentary. Like, doesn't he do a lot of sports betting, this guy? Or
I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I don't really know what his deal is. He's just a numbers guy, but he's got a cool website and people love his stats. So if you wanted to get some deep analysis,
Have you gone?
I've went to the website, but I was like,
yeah,
I don't.
You're like,
this.
I'm better than this.
Like,
I feel that.
Not only am I not better than it, I don't want to win and say that I used KenPom as my crutch.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And how many brackets are you making?
So I have one for our rookie mistakes pool, and then I
Nice.
have 3 in my friend Freud's pool. Andrew
Nice.
Freudenberger. He's trying to make it a big pool. Last year, I think he had more than 300 people.
Wow.
If people are interested in that, feel free to DM us. I can give you the info. The
Yeah.
prize is going to be like over $3,000, so
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty sweet.
Speaking of DMing, I do want to thank you because you have locked down DMs on our Instagram page. And I don't know how DMs work on Instagram. And sometimes I log in, I'm like, oh, Jeremy's been active. Let's get it. So I do appreciate it.
Yeah, Ethan, for those of you who don't know this about him, is not a big social media buff.
Yeah, the only Instagram account I have is the Rookie Mistakes account. Same with TikTok.
Yeah.
So but at least when friends now send me TikToks and I click the little link, it can pop up in app. You know, so that's good.
I've been wondering why we're getting weird suggestions on our TikTok feed.
and then for my friend who sent the text, they're like, "Oh, Rookie Mistakes, saw your TikTok." Like they're like, "All right, that's weird." But anyway,
Well, now you know how to post and make
Now
videos
I know how to
and
post,
captions
yeah.
and everything. So
yeah,
who's to say?
Yeah, I'm
Who's to
growing.
say you're not a social media buff.
Yeah, it's true.
So some other useful information. March Madness was originally 8 teams when it started in 1939, but in 1985 it expanded to a 64-team bracket.
Nice.
So the stats I'm going to give you now are based on all the years from 1985. So if you guys are trying to find ways to pick upsets for the tournament, because you have to do that, upsets are bound to happen,
Yeah.
and they are the way that you get yourself an edge, you get yourself that extra point or two in the tournament. These are just important things to know. You might be tempted to pick a 16 seed to beat a 1 because last year, Purdue, who was a 1 seed again this year, who was the number 1 overall team last year, they lost in the first round.
Crazy.
They were only the second number 1 seed since 1985 to lose in the first round.
Yes.
So it is very, very unlikely. I would not advise doing it. And if you're trying to pick a 2 seed against a 15 seed, vice versa, a 15 against a 2, that has only happened 11 times. 94% of the time, the 2 seed is winning.
But isn't it true that in recent years there have been a larger amount of upsets?
Yes. Last year, a number 1 and a number 2 seed lost.
Yes.
So it does happen. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you it's probably not going to
It's
happen.
shaky ground.
It's shaky ground. Now, on the other hand, 13 and 14 seeds are less likely to lose their game, obviously, but still on average have greater than 0.5 average losses in previous seasons. So what that means is,
Yeah, I don't get that.
last year, and if you take the last 40 years or however long it's been since 1985,
Yep.
of all of the 14 seeds to play, each year on average, 0.6 of them lose. So it's a greater than half chance that a team is going to lose. Like of the 4, the odds that one of them loses is greater than 0.5.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's still very unlikely.
So is this the same thing as saying they have a 60% chance of winning?
I don't know.
Okay.
Basically, there are 4 teams that make up the 14 seeds. There are 4 teams that make up the 13 seeds.
Yeah.
And in previous years, 0.6 14 seeds, 13 seeds have lost, and 0.8
So
13 seeds have lost. It makes
one
sense in
of
my brain, but I
one
need
of-
you to explain it better.
Okay, so let's just say instead of 0.6, that was 1.0.
Sure.
That would mean one of the 4
Yes.
14 seeds is bound to lose.
Correct.
History tells us.
Exactly.
So this is a little bit less than 1, but there's a pretty high, more than half.
Yes.
So I guess if you could extrapolate this over 2 years,
Yes.
so there's 8 different games played for the intro game.
Correct.
One of them will lose.
Thank you.
That I don't even know if that was even more clear. But
No, it made sense to me, and I was confusing myself, so I think that was a good explanation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on that same note, usually they will not lose.
Usually
13,
they won't
14
lose. And it
seeds.
means if one of them is going to lose, it's still tough to pick which one. So
Yes.
that's the harder part. Is like,
Yeah.
all right, I think there's going to be an upset. Which of the 4 do I think is going to get upset?
Yes.
Now, you can usually count on a 10, 11, or 12 seed losing. In the last, I don't remember exactly how many years, but greater than 1 has lost on average since 1985.
That's interesting.
So one of these teams is going to lose.
Yeah.
And it's greater than 1 for 12, 11, and 10 seeds.
Okay.
So one of each of those
That's
seeds is
good. This is
almost
good.
definitely going to lose. So it's all about picking correctly which one do you think is going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could pick more than 1 and maybe you get one of the 2 right. Or they both lose.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely possible. And then the 8-9 matchup, complete toss-up.
Yeah.
It's usually 50-50 who's going to win that game. There is generally no advantage. And the early leaders on the scoreboard for your bracket are typically going to be the teams that get 4 out of 4 of those 8-9 matchups right, because everyone's getting the 116 right, everyone's getting the 215, but that toss-up game that's usually 50-50, if you can get all 4 of those, you start yourself out pretty strong.
Yeah. A couple things here too. Another tactic, which we didn't discuss, but it's obvious, is just picking the better seed.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the deal with that? Because there's a lot of, like, commentary of, like, yeah, people who do that are bozos, but then the people who are doing it who are bozos are like, yeah, but it's the most likely thing to occur, but you're like, you never really win the bracket, and it's also a little bit just annoying to do that. So what do you think?
I think it is annoying, and it's kind of lame, so don't do it. However, I'll start from the top down. Number 1 seeds are still a good bet to win. Of the last 38 champions, 24 of them have been 1 seeds.
This is crazy that you can rattle off these numbers.
Like, I mean, I did a lot of research, but so 1 seeds are still a good bet to win it all, but that's only if you pick the right one.
Yeah.
Because only one time in history have all 4 number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four.
Wow.
So
that's
picking favorites the whole way, it's not going to get you very far, because there's going to be an upset. And if you picked all number 1 seeds to make it to the Final Four, one of them loses in the second round, your whole bracket's gone. Yeah. So it's tough. It's I would not use that strategy. It'll get you far enough where you'll think you have a chance.
Yep.
But like at the end of the day, your bracket won't be unique enough to put you over the top. Yes. Someone else is going to have more picks correct than you.
But I guess if you really want to do some game theory, the smaller the pool of brackets are, the more likely doing something mainstream is going to get you a dub.
So I guess so.
Right, like if we had a competition, me versus you, we both made a bracket.
Yeah, and you picked all the favorites.
I picked all the favorites. It's a safer bet than if we have a bracket of 30 folks.
That could be. Yeah, that could be.
Anyway.
I guess because the permutations aren't as many if it's just the 2 of us. Yeah, it's a good point.
The other thing I'll say, which I've tinkered about with on my bracket, is at least Yahoo Sports will give you the number of brackets that have picked this winner versus that winner. So
really, but not within your own.
No. Bracket. This is just like every bracket on Yahoo Sports. It'll say 35% of brackets picked.
Yes.
Florida State to win this
matchup. Yeah.
Versus 65 picked whoever else their competitor was.
Right.
So I sort of use that as guidance on what team I should choose. But obviously, going with the mainstream doesn't always win. Yeah. So I just take it as one variable into account.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the biggest takeaway for me and why March Madness is so fun is it is anyone's game.
Yep.
Anyone can win the tournament, which means anyone can win their March Madness pool. So if you guys are not yet involved, you should get involved. It's a ton of fun. It's just fun to like watch these games and have something invested. So
100%. And we have to post our March Madness bracket challenge probably in the show notes.
Oh yeah, we should.
We should do that. And are we talking about what we're getting the winner?
Yeah. You want to tell them what they get?
Yes.
Aside from the money.
Aside from the money.
Nice.
Yeah, we were just going to take the money and give you this other gift, but we decided that you would also get the money. We are giving away one Rookie Mistakes t-shirt.
Heck yeah.
A little bit of merch. We're going to get it out there. It's mostly so we can buy a whole nother slew of merch and get some for ourselves as well.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, I have your shirt. I need to give it to you. I've been hoarding that for a month.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
We do have 2 shirts, one for Jeremy and one for me. He wore his during his half marathon. It also has a QR code on the back that you can scan and it goes directly to our Spotify show.
It does, but don't worry, we won't do that to you guys. We're going to take the QR code off the back, so you'll be proud to wear your Rookie Mistakes shirt.
You will not be a walking promotion for Rookie Mistakes.
Yeah, and you'll get a shout out on the pod.
You'll get a shout out on the pod.
We'll be keeping you guys updated on the leaderboard every week. Just you should submit a bracket. You should get involved, and
it's $5.
$5.
$5.
Easy, low commitment,
Easy peasy.
And even though it's a low commitment, you'll feel very, very committed to March Madness.
Yes,
and that's
100%.
what we want.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to jump into something I have for you.
Okay.
So this is a little game show. It's for all the college sports buffs. So I feel like we have 2 different sets of audience members.
Yeah.
One is like people like myself who are trying to learn sports, and the other is people like you who are expert sports. And every single time I give you a challenge, they're trying to guess it before you do. So for all of the college sports out there, college sports buffs out there, including you, obviously, here are a few questions. The way this is going to work is each of these questions is going to be worth a number of points, and we're going to see how many points you get at the end. For those watching, if you do better than Jeremy, you can call us,
tell me,
for a chance to win a ticket to watch March Madness from the comfort of Jeremy and Orly's home.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'm inviting them in.
I love that you just offered that.
Not really.
You can also go to Ethan's home if you want.
Yeah, but my home is really far from most of you. I want to be clear.
Yeah, but Ethan will give you food. So.
But if you keep kosher, then I don't have a kosher home. So.
Okay. Well, fine. We don't offer drinks or sustenance. So.
Okay. Not really, but obviously, if you beat Jeremy, feel free to heckle him.
Yeah.
So, college sports questions. The first question I have for you, it's worth 1 point.
Okay.
So, what team holds the record for the most NCAA men's basketball tournament championships?
UCLA.
And extra point, do you know how many championships they have?
I'm pretty sure they have 11.
All right, that's 2 points.
Let's go.
That's good.
The reason I know that is because John Wooden, who's a very famous coach, won 10 national championships as their coach. He won 7 in a row.
Wow.
They hold the record for most consecutive wins, and they had 4 seasons where they went 30-0. Historically great team, and he won 10 championships, and I knew that they won 1 other. So,
all right, so you're off to a great start.
Thank you.
For 2 points, a little bit more tricky. What college basketball program has produced the most NBA draft picks?
I'm going to go with Duke.
Incorrect. It's the Kentucky Wildcats.
Oh, that was going to be my next guess.
I should have gave you a next guess for 1 point.
That's okay. John Calipari has a factory over there. He just churns out NBA players.
He's the coach?
Yeah, he's the coach of Kentucky.
Fun fact, actually, about Kentucky. I grew up for the first 11 years of my life in Kentucky.
Yeah.
My father taught at the University of Kentucky. The sports program there was very small, so he got free half-court tickets to every single Kentucky Wildcats basketball game. We were at the second row. I went pretty much every game. It was with Tubby Smith as coach. So yeah, we were like close friends with the coach at that time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Next question for 3 points, just because the first person that comes to mind is not going to be the right person.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because the first person that will come to your mind is someone that I know and I've heard of.
Oh.
And it's not the person.
It's not that person.
That's the answer to this.
Okay.
Who is the shortest player ever to play in an NCAA Division I men's basketball game? For 3 points.
My guess, because I don't know that you're going to know this person, is Muggsy Bogues.
So that's the person that I...
That's the person you knew.
That's the person I knew.
Tough.
So very close call. Muggsy Bogues stands. He's still alive.
I think he's still alive.
I hope so.
I hope we didn't just pronounce Muggsy Bogues dead.
No, I hope not. He stands. He's still standing at 5 feet 3 inches tall.
Muggsy Bogues is alive. Thank God.
There is someone 5 feet 2 inches tall.
No.
Shanta Darnell Rogers Jr.
There's no way I would have known that. But
Okay.
that's very 5'2".
5'2".
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Okay, so they might only get trickier from here. I don't know if you're going to know any of the next answers to this question.
Okay, all right. Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
I found a complex.com/sports article.
Excuse me?
That's complex.com is the news site.
Okay.
That documents the 20 most epic dunks in March Madness history.
What?
And I don't know if you know any of them, but for any dunk that is on this list, I will give you a point for.
All I can think of is a Patrick Ewing dunk when he played at Georgetown. I don't know. Honestly, all the historic college shots that I can think of are not dunks.
Okay, so that's unfortunate.
So I
if
don't
any
have
of you
any.
listening do know any of these dunks, I will not actually send the site, because if you message us on
Yeah, if you
Instagram,
DM.
Jeremy will probably answer you, and then
will.
I'll control F on this webpage for whoever that you're talking about.
What's the number one? What's the most famous one?
According to complex.com,
These are niche?
these are niche.
Have I
So-
heard of the players?
James Michael McAdoo versus Vermont in 2012.
Nah.
Stanley Robinson versus Michigan State. Kyle Drexler versus Louisville.
Drexler, okay. I have heard of him.
Hakim Warwick versus Texas.
Hakeem Warwick.
Hakeem, sorry.
That's all right. I don't know. None of these are ringing a bell.
Okay, all good.
but- okay. That
So-
was for 4 points. What's my 5-pointer?
Your 5-pointer. So you have 30 seconds.
Okay.
I am going to give you teams in this March Madness bracket, and you're going to tell me the seed that those teams are.
Okay, not spoiler. Disclaimer for everyone, I haven't studied the bracket yet because I haven't made my bracket. So a lot of this is going to be intuition.
Okay.
And then the few teams that I do know.
Okay, that sounds good. I will be clear, though. I did message you earlier today saying I was going to do this.
But I didn't want to study because
Okay.
I thought that would be unfair.
That would be unfair.
Yeah.
So 30 seconds. I only have 5. So,
Okay.
So 30 divided by 5, you have 6 seconds per.
Let's do it.
Take your time. Northwestern.
Oh, Northwestern's such a classic 9 seed. Are they a 9?
They're a 9 seed.
Wow. Wow. That's unbelievable. They're a 9 seed every year in the tournament.
That's very
They're
funny.
such a classic 9.
That was good. 1 point. Illinois.
Illinois just won the Big Ten. I'm going to say 4 seed.
3 seed.
Close.
Grand Canyon.
12.
12. North Carolina.
North Carolina's a 1.
Utah State.
11.
8. Okay, you went 3 for 5.
That's
Not
pretty
bad
good.
at all. Not bad at all.
That was good. I got a 12 and an 8.
And that's the time, everyone. There you go.
Oh, sweet. I was like, did our recorder, stop. What's going on?
Anyway, so that's good. So all in all, you got 3 points for guessing the teams. You got 2 points for the UCLA championship. I'll give you 1 for Muggsy Bogues because he came in close second there.
Okay.
So all in all, 6 points. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not amazing.
Not
But if
amazing.
any of you guys think you can beat that, tell me, because I don't think you can.
Yeah, that's going to be too difficult for sure.
Wow.
I think that with that,
Yeah.
Hold My Beer. Do you have things for Hold My Beer this week?
No, the Hold My Beer is March Madness.
Okay.
Watch March Madness. Make your brackets. That's what I've got for the people.
Okay, I actually do want to ask you a question. Hold My Beer.
Okay, fine. You can ask.
So I was listening to Bill Simmons the other day. I don't listen to him usually, but he was talking about the fact that after the All-Star game in the NBA, the points scored per game went down drastically because the refs started making some changes. I don't know if you've heard of this yet.
I haven't.
Okay, so apparently the points per game went down a lot, and it's because the refs have started to make substantial changes in the calls that they decide are fouls.
Really?
And maybe you should look into this because
Yeah,
we can
I
have this on for next time. But I was interested because this only happened in the past. When was the
All-Star game was like a month ago.
Yeah, this happened in the past 4 weeks, but they've seen a drastic downtick in the points per game scored, as well as a lot of egregious miscalls or lack of calls in basketball.
Really?
Because I think the refs are
being
making
more
a
lenient.
making a more concerted effort to sort of lay off the gas in terms of the calls they're making.
Interesting.
So anyway, maybe we'll talk about that next time.
Was that on a recent Simmons episode?
That
I
was
should listen to that.
maybe a week ago.
Okay, that's cool. That's very interesting.
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
Good luck on the brackets.
Yeah, good luck to everyone. May the best bracket win. Again, it's anyone's game.
And be yourself.
Yeah, don't listen to us too much because it honestly won't help you.
Yeah, it won't
Neither
help
of
you
us
much.
have ever won. If there are more than like 10 people in a March Madness pool, I can almost guarantee that I won't win. So
Yeah.
just some useful tidbits for you guys to make your bracket with.
Yeah.
But very excited about this. If you guys have exciting things to tell us about your bracket or you're enjoying March Madness, DM us, text us. You know where to find us. But very excited for this. I hope you are too, Ethan.
I'm pumped. And you know where to find us? We are on Spotify, Rookie Mistakes. We are on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Rookie Mistakes _ pod.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah, find us on YouTube as well.
Yep. Rate, review, and subscribe.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Hit that like button, baby.
Yes. All right, see ya.
Catch you later.